What is good? What is good, my quick crypto family, and also to my Coin Factory family, the ones who are in my Discord server. Welcome to the stream once again. 16 days in a row, I believe now. It's, every day's looking up, and right now we got some very, very bullish news once again. This time directly for Kaspa. The last few streams we've been talking about, wave 2 adoption and all these other catalysts happening with the crypto mining with Kaspa, and the fact that right now Kaspa is actually under the power law, which means that we should be seeing a reversal in the price very, very shortly. But it seems like that our prayers are about to be answered, because we have confirmation from the Kaspa developers, the likes from Kaspa themselves has posted this. You've got Oysun Lee, who is the CEO of CoinPal, who are one of the ventures to the KEF, the Kaspa Ecosystem Foundation, and they're talking about KRC20 and 10 watt per second Kaspa coming very, very soon. I'm going to get into that in the stream. As always, if you enjoy these streams, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And quickly, as we can see, got some early comers already. You guys here every single day at the very same time for these streams. I welcome you all. Thank you very much for joining. Bingo Bango, once again, you're a legend in the space. Chirp first. Unfortunately, I think Bingo Bango just beat you to it, but I'll take it either way. Hi from Sydney, Australia. That means it's 11:30 p.m. over there, by the way. It is midnight basically for them, and he's in the stream. So Issa, you're a legend, and welcome Carl as well to the stream, and everybody else who's watching. So without further ado, we can see Kaspa right now valued at 16.8 cents, up 0.47% on the daily time frame. Ultimately, Kaspa's still in this period of consolidation that I've been talking about, we've all been talking about since it had this massive correction, this massive crash from the Fed rate cuts, Warren Buffett, Japan, all those catalysts that happened then. I said that when Kaspa comes back up, it seems it's going to probably consolidate around this region for a bit, and it looks like it's doing that much. I believe we see lower lows, and I think there's still a possibility of that, but at the same time, with what's coming out of Kaspa right now, I honestly would not be surprised if this is where we're going to see Kaspa start making its comeback from this point onwards. Hola mi amigos, welcome 1 a.m. watching football as well. Wow, you're a legend, you're an absolute legend, mate. Thank you very much for joining the stream. But yeah, without further ado, we can see right now we've got another new all-time high in hash rate, which is very bullish news, right? Again, for those who are unaware, the hash rate is a resemblance of the increase in adoption for the project, also the increase in security. So it means it's harder for the miners to actually make money, which is why, right, because of this world, that increased hash rate, that means right now the miners are not making a profit from mining Kaspa, which means we need to see the price go up for them to make a profit. This is very, very good. We're closing into 1 EH, and it's coming sooner than you think. Could come before the end of this month at this rate. Last month, on the 1st of July, it was at 380. We've more than 2x'd in that time. Or, yeah, we have more than 2x'd in that time in a month and a half, which is absolutely nuts. So, and we can see actually it's actually even surpassed that at 85825, not 857. So it's slightly higher. So that's very, very, very good news. And I think we're going to start to see it go a lot better. The miners right now are struggling, right? Ultimately, they're struggling right now. But I think we're going to see a reversal soon, and the miners are going to start making money thanks to these announcements. Oysun Lee posted in the closed beta on testnet 11, on testnet 10, which happened last weekend, just gone the closed beta. Kasplex is running at 500 OPS, which is ops per second. Will be fully compatible with Kaspa Mainnet. So their testnet last weekend seemed to be perfectly fine, completely ready, and now, from the looks of it, we're going to be seeing the test on the mainnet. I thought I saw it earlier. Someone say I think I saw it during my research earlier that on the test should be a mainnet test coming this weekend, like public one. So right now we had a private one last weekend. The mainnet will happen this weekend, and we can see KRC20 is ready for Kaspa mainnet. That should be happening this weekend, which is very, very big. Also need to say very, very soon. This is a question too, with the upcoming release of the RBF, the fee estimation API, large scale final testing of KRC20 is about to begin. So very, very soon. So yes, last weekend with the private beta, now have the open beta, and we therefore should be on track to see the full release of KRC20, the Kaspa mainnet, by the end of August, if not early September. But right now, everything's looking very, very good, which is very, very bullish. We can see Kaspa themselves, they posted out the work to future-proof the mempool and make it ready for high transaction volume has been completed. In addition, wallets can now respond to dynamic and evolving fee markets with the new RBF and fee estimation APIs, empowering end users to control their transaction conclusion speed. A new release candidate will be created that includes these changes. If you are a wallet developer, please be aware of these changes and integrate them into your wallet, as this is the release rollout of Rusty Kaspa crew will continue to make progress towards 10 BPS related work. So this is effectively confirming, look, the release candidate progress was on the 12th of August. So, 5 days ago. So this is confirmation here that the mainnet KRC20 is, incoming, imminent. And also, we will soon then see the shift to 10 BPS on the mainnet as well. We should already know 10 blocks per second, 10 BPS is already functioning on the testnet 11. We have 10 BPS, we know it works, but it's not been incorporated onto the mainnet yet. They're taking their time, they're making sure they do the things, doing their due diligence, doing their research, make sure everything's fleshed out. But therefore it looks like we're going to be seeing 10 per second on the Kaspa mainnet very, very shortly, which is huge news. We can see here from Elpor, new update Kasfam, and this is again regarding the same thing, everything's working. When the mainnet relaunch, the guess is the public testing or testnet 11 will happen next week, since this early thing we left to release is the test Rusty Kaspa release that includes RBF and fee estimation API, which are both done and merged now. So everything's done. But at this point, there's realistically nothing left holding back the release of KRC20 and Rusty Kaspa 10 BPS. It's just a matter of actually rolling it out now. So they're going to be doing some final tweaks, I imagine. And then, we'll see the release of that, which goes again in accordance to what I've been saying for a while. I think what we're going to see, most likely, is the release of the KRC20, the Kaspa mainnet, the Kaspa blockchain, which will happen before the end of this month, if not early September. And very soon after that, we will then see 10 blocks per second incorporated onto the mainnet, because we know it works on testnet. So all they have to do is activate the code, so to speak, and it will run onto the mainnet. The only problem is that 10 blocks per second is a hard fork, right? So if we look right now, we look at the migration, we can see the migration, or the amount of miners that are currently mining on Rust as opposed to Go, is 96%, right? This is just showcasing the miners mining it. It's not indicative of how close we are to Rust. But it's been confirmed from Shai, one of Kaspa's lead developers, one of the integral members of Kaspa, that when 10 blocks per second is incorporated onto the mainnet, that is a hard fork. And therefore, when that happens as well, the miners who are on the Go nodes will not be able to use Go nodes anymore. They become obsolete. So if they don't want to miss out and they want to continue mining Kaspa, they have to switch to Rust by that point, which is, fair enough. Kaspa are going to give them a lot of warning, which is why, again, they're doing their due diligence, taking a long time doing this, so they can give everyone a chance and give everyone a fair opportunity to do this. And also, if you do it slowly, it limits the risks as well. Because that's another thing as well. Hard forks are also, it's not, I wouldn't say common, but it's likely that you can see people hacking during the hard fork phase, hacking into the software, hacking into the system, or errors in the code, right? So what right now, they're taking their time, making sure everything's good, and they seemingly have got all the code ready, everything's good to go, but just actually making sure they get the migration going perfectly. So we're going to see the 10 BPS on the mainnet very, very soon. And once we see that, KRC20 in itself is going to be groundbreaking, allowing Kaspa to compete with the likes of Solana and Tron and other blockchain protocols, right? Other L2, L1s. Ethereum, it will let it compete with Ethereum. Aside from the smart contracts, its technology, its system, its blockchain will be better than Ethereum's. It'll be more decentralized, it'll be more secure, and it'll be more scalable than Ethereum's. I mentioned this in a previous video in this Kaspa roundtable that took place on the 14th of August, or 3 days ago now. Rory O'Neill from the KII confirms to an institution that he spoke to an institution, a major institution who manages between $20 to $40 trillion a year of customer assets, and they currently do 95% of their settlements on Ethereum. He told them if they were switched to Kaspa, on gas fees alone, which we know Ethereum gas fees are extortionately expensive, on gas fees alone, they would save tens of millions of dollars a year. So when the KRC20 comes out, that's going to be amazing. Institutions like that may want to actually explore Kaspa as an alternative to Ethereum and to other blockchains, because it's more scalable, it's more secure, and it's centralized, which is what all institutions effectively want to protect themselves from potential hacks and whatnot and rug pull effects. And then 10 BPS will just make it that much better, that much faster. It'll make it 6,000 times faster than Bitcoin, which is absolutely nuts. And the smart contract is that final cherry on top to completely blow Ethereum out of the water. So this is very, very big news. So we're likely going to see the the mainnet KRC20 test coming at some point next week, and then we'll see the full release by the end of this month, if not September, and then soon afterwards we'll see the hard fork from 1 to 10 BPS. And once that is done, because again, hard forks is complicated, it can have complications, so therefore that's also a reason why some top tier exchanges or exchanges in general may not want to list during a hard fork, because that could cause problems. They're better off waiting for the hard fork to be done when all the code's been updated, and then just list the project. Haven't got to go through, because if all the exchanges right now that have Kaspa, which includes the likes of Bybit, Mexi, Gate, and all them ones, they're going to have to manually change the code themselves. And well, Kaspa's going to let them know, of course, but they have to change the code themselves so they don't end up having a problem. If these exchanges are to wait, then the code will be changed already, and when they list the project, it's no problem. So the likes of Kraken, who I believe are going to list Kaspa, very, very shortly, according to previous researchers papers, we've seen that Kraken tends to list 4 to 6 weeks from their announcement, and they're trying to speed up their listing process as well, so we can see it hopefully in September. It's likely that they're going to announce official spot listing after the 10 BPS migration is done. If it's like 10 BPS, let's say KRC20 is launched, end of this month, they might actually announce Rust Kaspa migration happening now. 2 weeks warning. After that, then we might say, okay, Kraken, now the hard fork's done, 10 BPS is on the mainnet, Kraken will now list Kaspa. That's a potential theory that I have that could happen, which, I mean, ultimately, I think the bottom line is, the much as that's, it's a theory, the bottom line is, it's bullish, right? We're going to see KRC20 very, very soon. We're going to see 10 BPS very, very soon. And we're going to see tier 1s coming very, very soon, including the likes of Binance as well, who are doing their mining pool. So they'll have more, they'll be able to build their liquidity, and eventually they'll want to list Kaspa as well. We'll probably see Kraken and Binance for the end of this year, and therefore likely see a $1 Kaspa, in my opinion, before the end of 2024, which is very, very big news. And I'm very bullish about that. Very much looking forward to what's going to happen with Kaspa very, very shortly. And one thing as well is regarding the... I lost train of thought. I'll come back to me. Let me answer some questions. Kaspa is not moving time to sell. I mean, David's just, trying to lie to you boys. Let me not lie. I mean, right now it's consolidating, but I'm telling you, don't listen to this David guy. He's just trying to buy up more cheap Kaspa, I'm telling you. Hello, Mohammed. I'm good, my friend. How are you doing? One day Kaspa will compete with Ethereum. Yeah, and I think it's sooner than we think. I think we could see Kaspa compete with Ethereum in this bull cycle. Exactly. As Bingo Bango says, don't listen to David, it's time to buy. I mean, I'm not telling you it's time to buy. I'm telling you right now, a lot of stuff's building up. Kaspa's currently up 0.59%, valued at 16.8. And I still think we see some highs and lows potentially incoming. But again, what's going to... The release or the imminent release of KRC20 will generate FOMO, fear of missing out. And that will cause the price of Kaspa likely to rise. Maybe not by a lot, but rise regardless. Once the KRC20 is actually out, if there's no 10 BPS announcement after that, or at least not immediately, and no Kraken announcement after that and not immediately, we may see a correction in the price. We may, because right now it's not enough liquidity in the market for us to see some serious pumping right now. Although again, according to the power law, it states that we should be seeing the bottom support for Kaspa being at 18 at least. So right now it's undervalued, so we could see it push above. Mine's not making profit at all, so it really depends. What are the price levels you will be starting to sell parts of Kaspa coin? My price levels right now, I'm not doing anything below $1. I'll do just a little bit of $1, then probably $1.50, then $2, then $3. And then I'm going to, by that point, let's just say it's midsummer and we've still got another few months left of the pump and we can see some more tier 1s coming out. I'm banking that we'll see at least a $5 hopefully. And it's, again, depending on what announcements come out, the KII being a big one, I'm going to go through that again in this live stream. We could potentially see a $7 if not $10 Kaspa. So I'm going to take a bigger bag out near the top, which happens around October to November time. I'll take a bigger bag out around that point. I'm never going to sell all my Kaspa. Never. I'm going to take a bigger bag out and then invest back in when I feel like I need to. But I just use it as, celebratory money, right? I've made a sizable bag from investing early at 5 cents in Kaspa and DCAing the whole way. Anyone know about PiCoin? I have not heard of PiCoin. I'll do a quick search for you. Don't see it on here, so not sure. If you want to tell me the actual name of the coin, I can give it a look, but as it stands right now, I don't see anything about it, so that doesn't necessarily mean good things if you can't find it very quickly on CoinMarketCap. Were investors in trouble with hard forks? No, investors are fine, to my knowledge, right? The last time I used to hold Gala, right? And Gala went through a hard fork of changing, because there was actually a situation that happened with it's actually quite a bad situation, which is partly the reason why a lot of people got out of the project. I still think it has a chance to go up, but basically one of the co-founders was involved in a scandal. So I'm not telling you to invest in Gala. Like do the research in it. It was happened, I think, May last year, around that time, where we saw Gala go from their Gala token to Gala V2. And basically what that means is that they had to go through a hard fork basically to switch their tokens. Now, us investors who held Gala at the time, we were fine, provided that the exchange that listed the project supported the hard fork, supported the migration, which I had it on Binance. Binance supported it, I was good. But Coinbase, for example, they did not support it. So if you held Gala on Coinbase and you didn't switch to a different exchange, when that hard fork happened, that Gala was useless. So you were given at least a month warning. So you were given forewarning, and that's what I'm sure Kaspa will do the very same thing. But I mean, ultimately, I imagine all exchanges that have Kaspa right now will support the hard fork migration. They'll change the code, and that'll be fine. We'll have to see, though. I'm sure all exchanges will make their announcement saying, "Okay, we see the hard fork going on. We support it." But there's nothing that we have to do. We just have to make sure we look at the news forums, and provided the exchanges say that if it's the same thing, which I think it is, then provided the exchanges say we support it, then all you have to do is just. And at the same time, that you'll be holding. I imagine you'll be holding your Kaspa on Tangent. It should be fine as well. We'll find out more when the time comes to it. But ultimately, there's nothing that we have to do necessarily. It's just a case of the main people have to do something right now. Will be the miners. The miners will have to do something. Otherwise, anyone who's mining on Go will have a problem. At least that's to my knowledge. But we'll find out more again in due time. But that happened with Gala at least. So with Gala, I was fine. But some people on Coinbase did have a problem. They had to switch to a different exchange or just sell their Gala, which a lot of people did as well. That's why we saw it happened where? Yeah, it happened around here. That's why we saw this. It happened around here, and then there was a problem. People didn't actually listen, and people lost a lot of their Gala through like Coinbase and whatnot. Other exchanges didn't support it because they didn't want to do it because of the whole lawsuit situation. And we saw correction. Consolidation, another correction, and they just saw gradual downturn. Now, in saying that, Gala's a project that I'm not in anymore. I sold around the top here. I did hold it all the way through that. I held it through that, bought some round here, and then came back up, sold it around here. And it's a project I'll probably get back into because it seems like most of the situations are sold out. But it's a minimal bag of putting into it again just to hedge my bets because I do believe in gaming projects. But ultimately, yeah, we're talking about Kaspa right now. But I think, again, a lot of big stuff coming within the next month or two. So we will probably see some bullish momentum for Kaspa very, very shortly. Why are Tier 1 exchanges so important? I mean, I bought all my Kaspa on Mexi and everyone can do the same or not. Okay, well, effectively speaking, Tier 1 exchanges are so important because they're Tier 1s. Therefore, majority of all transactions occur on these exchanges. Look at the trading volume of something like Mexi, 1.2 billion. Weekly visits of 1.1 million. Then look at something like Binance. And that's down right now. That used to be 13, but 8.5 billion. So that's almost 8 times bigger than Mexi and almost 11 million weekly visits. That's almost 10 times bigger than Mexi. The ultimate point is that with Tier 1s listing these projects, it just means you have more ways to get access to Kaspa. And some of the casual traders, right? They don't like using other exchanges because they're not as trusted, which is fair enough. I'm not gonna knock that at all. I think that's fair enough. You want to be more careful. I mean, the best way to do it is to keep it on a cold storage or hardware wallet, or hard wallet. But if you don't want to do that, fine. Put it on a more trusted exchange like the Binances and Coinbases and the Krakens of the world and Robinhood and whatnot. But ultimately, you should always have it in a cold storage. I say. But ultimately, with the big exchanges getting involved, right? The big Tier 1 exchanges, it gives more access to the casual traders who only use the big exchanges to invest into Kaspa. Now, saying that, Mexi does actually have more trading volume and more weekly visits than that of Kraken. But Kraken is seemingly a bigger exchange, a more trusted exchange. So that will be good for that in the grand scheme of things, right? But that's ultimately why Tier 1s are so important, because it means if you see, you look at Kaspa right now and you look at his project and you see all these exchanges that have listed Kaspa, that's good to see. A lot of centralized exchanges listing Kaspa is good to see. But if you see Coinbase and Robinhood or Gemini or Crypto.com, or you see one of the Binance, one of the massive exchanges, it installs more confidence in the investors that it's a trusted project, because the big exchanges want to list it as well. And the fact that it's Kaspa as well, proof of work, no pre-allocation, no pre-mining, not paying the exchanges to list the project, it'll be even better to see tier ones on Kaspa, because that means they've been listed because the exchanges wanted to buy the project because it was so good. They're not being paid to do it. That's why tier ones are so big for Kaspa as well. So what I expect to see is we'll see the announcement of a tier one, whether that be Kraken, Binance, whatever it may be in the future to be, and we'll see a run up. When they announce the official announcement on their Twitter page, their X page, we'll see a run up of people in the early position like us buying up more because the FOMO's in, and then when the actual listing happens, the people who are casual or more casual and only use Kraken, don't want to use the likes of L Bank and Mexi and Bybit. We'll see maybe a little bit of a spike when the listing actually happens, but that's at that same point the FOMO's gone. And at that point, then all the people who've been buying up early, which I'll be buying up early as well. Don't get me wrong. When I see the announcement, I'm buying 100%. But when the listings actually happened, a lot of people, I'm not going to do it because, I'm just going to keep buying more. I'm not selling any Kaspa at this point below $1. I'm just buying more and more and more. But when I see the announcement, I know we're going to see a run up. But a lot of people at that point will buy their Kaspa. It'll top out when the listing actually happens. We'll see a little push and they might see a correction. How heavy, again, is to be determined, depends on what announcements come out. But that's typically what happens with tier one listings and listings in general. I'm pretty sure that this big blow, this big pump here from 5 to 15 was surrounding the Binance futures, I want to say. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what happened around then. And that was a FOMO, saw a massive pump, and then we saw it consolidate at this point, and they start seeing some corrections over time, and it came back down to 10 or 9. And then we just started seeing some corrections, some consolidation, and then another pump, and the similar pattern the whole way through. So we'll see some similar patterns again, I believe, with the same thing with the Kraken announcement and Binance to be as well in the future. Oh yeah, okay, that was my long answer. Banana Republic answers it quite simply here. And that'll drop the price of Kaspa. What are your thoughts on Chainlink? I think Chainlink is not a bad project. I don't own any Chainlink. I'll probably buy some during the actual run up to the cycle, during the actual cycle. So in the next month or two, I might buy a little bit, but ultimately my biggest bag's in Kaspa, and my main focus is on projects that I have. My project right now is on Kaspa because Kaspa's doing really, really well, and KII is a big thing as well. But ultimately, this bull cycle is one that's going to be driven by industries. Institutional adoptions is doing a very, very big thing for the cycle. Therefore, the projects that have connections to big institutions, the likes of HBAR with BlackRock, XRP with the Bank of America, with JP Morgan Chase, with apparently BlackRock as well, but that's a bit speculative. There's no physical proof of that one. But again, XRP has the likes of Bank of Russia, the Bank of America, the Bank of England, all the projects that are actually in connection with big institutions. Again, Kaspa has got the KII now, so we might see partnership with Shell and THL and all them ones. That's where I'm like, okay, well, if institutions want them and they're now in the bull market, that's where the money's going to be pushed into the most. So that's where we're going to see the most, upside potential. Obviously, there are other projects as well that you can make money with that I'll be looking into in the cycle as well. Like, especially when the bull market's in its peak, that's typically when it's harder to make money with the big, mid to large cap tokens. So you go to, micro caps, which are hard. It's a bit more risky, but you can make some very quick gains that way. That's how I made money in the last cycle. I got some off Vulcan Forge actually during that last cycle, made a 2x quite comfortably near the top of the last cycle. It was around this, I think it was like this one up here, or it might have been this one up here. Yeah, this one up here, roughly a 2x. I made a nice little bit of money, and then I sold overnight. So that's what I've typically do in the full force of the bull cycle. And I'll probably end up discussing my strategies for that at a later date. Definitely in my Discord, potentially on my streams as well. But we'll have to see what happens in the future to come. But yeah, ultimately, that's my thoughts on Chainlink is not a bad project, but it's not my main focus right now. I'll probably get a little bit because there's no harm in diversifying a little bit, but it's not my biggest focus. Looks like Bybit is a tier 1. If it got listed, then the price went for 515. Don't you agree? Yeah, I mean, if Bybit is a bit tier, I thought Bybit was a tier 2. If it's a tier 1, that's great nonetheless. But from what I've heard, people say it's a tier 2. That's why people have said we haven't got a tier 1 listing yet. Everyone's saying that Kraken's gonna be the first tier 1 listing because that's the word that's what I've heard around the space. But regardless, that's an opinion for people. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, if the more we get listings, the more we'll see adoption and access to buy Kaspa, and we'll see a run up. Kas Maxi, welcome. Kaspa's the easiest 10x this cycle, 100%. 10x fund right now is $1.60. Kaspa, in my opinion, easily surpasses $1.60. So yeah, easily. Missed last night. I mean, I think it's all good. It's all good, my friend. Don't worry about it. $3.25. I think $3.25 is equally a good sound prediction. I think $3 for me is quite conservative. I think we could see a $5, if not higher, 7 or 10, depending on what comes out. KLC20 again, as I mentioned, is coming out very, very shortly, very soon. A mainnet test, and we'll see the full release. Therefore, hopefully as planned by the end of this month, if not September. Then we could see 10 per second going to be following quite soon afterwards. Then we might see the likes of Kraken announce their listing. Binance might follow quite quickly and soon after that, before the end of this year, which will see a $1 Kaspa. And yeah, a lot of very, very good things I think are incoming. And the power law, again, to cover this, I spoke about it last video. Power law for both Bitcoin and Kaspa right now is undervalued. So we'll have to see a run up very, very shortly. I think we'll see it in the next month, or leading up to the next month. The Fed are printing money. We're seeing a lot of real world developments happening as well. Dubai approves crypto salary payments to make UAE Bitcoin and crypto hub. Gold breaks $2,500 for the first time ever in history, which is very, very big. We're now seeing a shift away from fiat to commodities like gold, but this is very, very big news because it basically showcases that the adoption that institutions and investors are seeking alternative means to make investments as opposed to keeping their money in fiat. They're now looking at gold more, and right now there's a big talk about this new monetary system, which will be with blockchain technology, will be backed by gold. So the higher gold goes, the better we see for crypto as well. And again, this is something I thought was really, really big. 159 countries are set to adopt BRICS new payment system. Right now, there's, I think, 9 or 10. You have the standard 5 being Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Then you have the new members being the United Arab Emirates, UAE, which again, we just spoke about this here. So that's very, very big for the BRICS as well. UAE, you got Saudi Arabia, if I'm not mistaken. You've got Ethiopia, I'm pretty sure. You've got Egypt. I feel like I might be missing one, but those are the ones that I can pick off the top of my head right now. And that's very, very big news. And I know you've got the likes of other countries like Thailand and Malaysia as well. Got many, again, 159 more countries who want to adopt the technology. And the BRICS technology is to move away from the dollar de-dollarization and adopt SWIFT and to detach themselves from SWIFT to adopt a new payment system that will have blockchain. So this is very, very big. Again, we're seeing this shift happening right now quicker. And this new system is meant to be live, I believe, in October. So again, stuff's happening very, very quickly. October could be a very, very big month for us. Lux E Lighter, or is that Lux Lighter? Do you believe in Kaspa's power law? I believe Kaspa's power law, the same as Bitcoin's power law, is a good indicator for the price of where the project should be. However, the power law, I don't believe, is a do or die, because the power law is simply based on the emission schedules of a project, the price over the time. That's all it is. The power law does not take into account the developments that Kaspa's going through, KRC20, 10 block per second, the eventual release of Dagnite, smart contracts, the Ethereum rollup, all of that, not to mention, does not take into account the likes of the tier 1 exchange listing that might push the price of Kaspa up, or the fact that we've got institutional adoption now into crypto, but importantly now into Kaspa as well, thanks to the KII. So I think the power law is a good indicator to see where the price should roughly be, and I think Kaspa should, for the most part, stick between that power law, especially during the bear cycles. But when the bull cycle happens, and especially this one, which will be the biggest one of our lifetime, no doubt about that, I don't think the power laws do or die. I think the power laws are a good indicator to see where the price should go, but the power law stays $3 tops. And I think we go above to $3. If $3 is meant to be the top of the power law, but again, you've got the likes of KRC20 coming out, tier 1 exchange, all of that announcement, all the developments happening that I mentioned, I think we see Kaspa surge above $3. I think Kaspa can go to 5 quite comfortably, if not 7 or 10. If we see smart contracts happen before the end of the bull cycle, I think we're 7 or 10. If we see all the tier 1s, the likes of Robinhood, Gemini, Binance, Coinbase, OKX, Kraken, Crypto.com, all of these big tier 1s, big American exchanges, then I think we could see a $7 to $10 Kaspa. again, depends what the KRI is doing as well. Because the KRI mentioned again in this roundtable that they are focusing, they chose Kaspa because they have projects in mind that need DLT and they need decentralization, which Kaspa is the only one that can achieve that. Bitcoin's decentralized, at least for the meantime, but it's becoming more centralized thanks to institutional adoption into Bitcoin. But Kaspa decentralized more than Bitcoin, arguably right now, because institutions are not involved in Kaspa just yet. It probably will happen, but we'll have to wait and see for that. But also because what Kaspa has that Bitcoin doesn't have is it's scalable. That's why the KRI chose Kaspa, and they spoke about the projects they have in play in conjunction, in partnership with the KRC20 and the Kaspa blockchain and the Kaspa stablecoin that will come out, that will have the likes to compete with what the likes of XRP and Ripple are doing and HBAR Hedera are doing with finance. So I think the KRI are going to be much more influential into this project than people give it credit for, and will make its price soar higher as it's used for the 5 biggest enterprise applications in blockchain that they mentioned is energy, which Kaspa is the only one, or at least to my knowledge, the only one of relevance that's in the energy sector right now, properly. They have this whole KRI is meant to be getting Kaspa into the energy sector. So also, you've got supply chain, you've got public sector, you've got cross-border payments, which XRP is very seemingly deeply connected with cross-border payments, and Kaspa can now compete with that thanks to KRI, and then settlement contract with financial institutions. KRI are going to let Kaspa achieve all of that. And again, as I mentioned, a lot of the institutions are right now using settlements, $20 to $40 trillion, 95% settlements on Ethereum. But they switch to Kaspa, they save, tens of millions of dollars a year. So there's a reason to use Kaspa, and the decentralized nature is one thing that many institutions are going to want, because the decentralized nature will give the likes of will give Kaspa protection from governments who may want to overstep their boundaries, and also bad actors. It gives them actual independence. That's what Kaspa's project can do for institutions, and that's why so many institutions are so eager to get involved, and I'm really happy about it. Closer to $4 to $5. Yeah, I think, again, $4 to $5 range I think is a good boundary to put. That's what I say. $3 for me is conservative. $5 for me is like where I hope it will reach, where I see it reaching, and then depending on what catalysts come out, and again, the wild card factor of institutional adoption, we could potentially see it go to 7, if not 10. Just bought 10 more Kaspa, and EA, you are again constantly filling your bags, and I know you'll be one of the millionaires for sure. So good to you, my friend. Bees, my mate, welcome. Good morning, future crypto millionaires. You think new BRICS payment system will use crypto? 100%. They've already announced it will. New payment system, all the new payment systems are switching to blockchain technology. Russia, I haven't got it up here. I might have retweeted it. I'll have a look. But Russia announced, I put it in my Discord server as well. Actually, yeah, haven't plugged that at all this stream. Yeah, for anyone who's wanted to know more regarding crypto developments, what's happening in the space, I got a free server that I created 2 weeks ago. I'm already at 200 members in 2 weeks, which is absolutely nuts, and we're learning a lot very, very quickly. All my members have been very, very happy with it so far, and we've been able to call some of these market sentiments as well, predicting the market and finding new projects to talk about. So if you want to join, feel free to join. It's free to join, and it's been very, very good. And I spoke about it, and again, that's the best way to talk to me, but also to get these information. And in the streams, I don't cover everything I'll talk about in Discord in the streams, but a lot of the information that I get also comes from the Discord, from what I've put in there already or what people's told me. Because we're all building our knowledge together, all contributing. And in the Discord server, we already spoke about the fact that Russia was, and I think they actually now have passed a bill to accept crypto mining September 1st. So that's next month, and crypto payments. Russia. So we are starting to see, I don't think I'm going to find it here, it's probably taking too long, but yes, we're going to see the BRICS payment system utilize blockchain technology and crypto. All the new payment rails are going to use crypto technology. Blockchain technology is right now becoming the backbone of the new monetary system, and these projects right now that have real world utility, the likes of XRP, HBAR, Quant, XDC, XLM, Algorand, these ones seem to be highly sought after right now. And Kaspa is gaining a lot of momentum, and they seem to have another big connection thanks to the KRI as well. They seem to be highly sought after by institutions as well. So I think we'll see Kaspa at the forefront. And right now, Bitcoin's great. Is great, of course. I'm not slanting Bitcoin, but it's a store of value now. Again, I'll show you the store of value, and that's what the co-creator of the blockchain, W. Scott Stornetta, He's one of the few people actually quoted in Satoshi's white paper, and he stated that it's strayed too far away from Satoshi's original vision, and it's become more centralized, and it's a store of value now. So we're going to see more institutions buy into Bitcoin ETFs, but it's going to be just basically a cold storage now. That's all it's going to be now. Bitcoin's not going to be used for payments. But the other crypto projects like Kaspa, XRP, for the meantime right now, and everything else, we will see it used for payments, and it'll be very, very big, in my opinion. Which is why, again, I'm so bullish in this space and what's to come with it in the very near future, and why I'm bullish on Kaspa. And again, we're going to see a pump seemingly on the horizon very, very soon, which makes me really, really happy. So yeah, if you want to keep up to date as well, all these streams, again, I'm doing these streams daily, 4 p.m. GBT, 12 p.m., which is midday EST, 9 a.m. PT, and for some of my mates, some of my followers, my brothers in arms in Australia, it's 11:30 p.m. in there, or if not even 1 a.m. So they're well past midnight, and they're still tuning in. Then yeah, feel free to leave a like on the stream, share with your friends, and subscribe for more, because I'll be doing these daily. And if I don't do them daily, or I end up having to change the time of it, again, link in the Discord right there, I will always let my community know if I have to change the time of the stream in my Discord server. Right now, the only thing I know is that next Saturday, I might have to do it really, really early at 9 a.m. GBT, which I haven't done the math yet. I think that will end up being 5 a.m. EST, which will then make it 2 a.m. PT, and then, the Australian brothers are good. It'll be like 4 or 5, I think, for them there. But yeah, I have to do it really, really early that day because I'm unfortunately got a business thing to do in the evening. So yeah, I bet with the GOAT, if ADA went to $3 last bull run, I think the bare minimum we should see is plus this run. Yeah, ultimately, all these crypto projects should rise to their all-time. All the projects that actually have real value and is doing something, to have the real use case, they should return to their all-time highs, most definitely. And now institutional adoption's here with more money ever than crypto than ever before. We should see it surpass its all-time highs. But in saying that, I think there's a very strong possibility we see Kaspa reach top 10 in this cycle. Right now, that would mean surpassing Cardano. Cardano ADA topped at 3, or just above $3. I think at $3.86. Let me get up on the marketcapof.com, www.marketcapof.com, and we can see just the price of Kaspa, what it's going to be to surpass Cardano at its all-time high. So right now, it just have to be $48, 48 cents to surpass Cardano right now. All-time high, $3.88. So 23x. And I think that's very, very doable. I think, again, Kaspa should reach 4 or 5, quite comfortably, I believe. Now, Cardano should surpass that market cap. I believe Cardano probably will reach 100 billion even, market cap. But at the same time, I think Kaspa surpasses that as well. And I think Kaspa has a very, very strong argument to be made that it will surpass and reach the top 10. I think some of these projects are going to, all projects I think in this top 20 region should pump, Chainlink as well. But ultimately, I think Kaspa's going to start leapfrogging a lot of these projects as well, sooner than we think as well, thanks to, again, the KRC20 that's imminent. Because, again, that's what I forgot to mention. This is why I keep speaking. The KRC20 is good because right now the power law states the miners are not making enough profit. The fair value is underneath, and so right now Kaspa's undervalued. Right now the hash rate is going so parabolic that the miners are not making profit on mining Kaspa right now. So either we see a price rise to see that change, which I think we will see regardless, or we need to see KRC20. Because again, as covered in this space, which I covered about it I think 2 streams ago, a very, very intuitive, informative space. I made a TLDR on it again in my Discord server because people might not want to sit through it for a whole hour, so I just gave them a 5-minute read to find out what happened. Ultimately, they spoke about in this space how this gives miners another means to make money, right? Because you can then, right now miners not making money again because the hash rate is going parabolic, but the activity on the network, right, on the Kaspa mainnet, Kaspa network, will generate fees which will then effectively bail the miners out of their situation of not making money because they can earn money through the KRC20. KRC20 tokens is basically also going to be used to combat what will happen when most of the Kaspa is mined. Eventually in the future, most Kaspa, if not all Kaspa, will be mined. And therefore the miners will make no money from mining Kaspa, but they can just jump onto the Kaspa blockchain and mine KRC20 tokens. Because KRC20 tokens on the Kaspa, if you deploy them, right? So if we use KRC20 as a transaction, it will cost an additional fee, but that will be given to the miners that hit the block. So whatever transactions are in the KRC20 token in the block, so that could be the tokens, could be the swaps, whatever else is going to be in that block, the miners are given those as rewards. So KRC20 is actually bigger than we imagine, not just for the fact that we have a Kaspa blockchain, it's the fact that it gives miners another means to make money, which will keep the adoption in the project as well. Miners won't then, go back to Bitcoin or just go to a different project, because they can just keep with the Kaspa blockchain and keep mine KRC20, which is, again, great for the longevity of Kaspa as well. So they have really, Stablecoins really thought all of this stuff out, The people who are working on Kaspa, again, KII seem to have deep connections and working with the Kaspa blockchain and the mainnet as well. They have got this all thought out, not to mention as well, we will be seeing a Kaspa stablecoin. The Kaspa blockchain will, at least in the opinion of this roundtable and in my opinion as well, will soak up a lot of the liquidity, a lot of the transactional fees that go on with stablecoins. Kaspa will take a chunk of the stablecoin volume, because once the exchanges get a taste of what Kasplex is about and what the Kaspa blockchain is about, they'll realize nothing compares to how great it is, being the only project to solve the trilemma. And that's a very, very big deal. People still don't give it credit for the fact that it solved the trilemma. It's a very big deal, because a lot of these projects are using the likes of Ripple's chain and XLM, all the other projects, because it has good technology, it's fast, and it's scalable, and it's secure, right? But it's not decentralized, and that does have. It's like that they're willing to look by that for the fact they need new technology, but the centralization of it will be a changing factor in the future. I am very sure of that much. So we will see the likes of Kaspa adopt a lot of that liquidity going forward as well with stablecoins. When they release the blockchain and their own stablecoin, we'll see a lot of the. I imagine we'll see a lot of these exchanges and what a lot of these institutions start using this blockchain, the Kaspa blockchain, for stablecoin transactions. And when Kaspa has its own stablecoin, we'll see a lot more liquidity flowing through the Kaspa blockchain, which will then also see more money and adoption increasing, and therefore Kaspa price increase as well. The more adoption that comes to Kaspa, the higher the hash rate goes, and also the more adoption that comes to Kaspa, the more we'll see Kaspa utilized as a medium exchange and a peer-to-peer electronic currency, which is what it's meant to be. Somebody asked what crypto project have I been buying. I said only one, Kaspa. He responded with, hasn't it run already? Yeah, precisely. As Beeb said, it's precisely right. Kaspa, from the most part, people think it's run already because that's its chart. It went this crazy run up, and then it's been doing this kind of very gradual rise ever since. Since the beginning of this year, if not like November, it's increased by like 1 or 2 cents. So people think it's had its time, but this isn't a bear cycle. We're about to go to the first bull cycle ever. It's up 90,000% since its initial launch. No other project's done what Kaspa's done. It's the only project ever in history to reach the top. It reached the top 20 as well. Right now, it's 21, but it did reach top 20 at one point. So it's now officially the only project to ever reach top 20 with no tier ones. It reached top 25 with no tier ones. It reached top 30 with no tier ones. Every other project in this space has had a tier 1 listing, wherever it may be, because they paid the exchange to list. Kaspa's not done that. It's the first of its kind, and it is truly, truly unique. So as much as I always think it's worthwhile diversifying your bags to, hedge your bets, and also to potentially, because Kaspa's going to have a run up, but you might end up finding, you never know, XRP might just jump to $100. Unlikely, in my opinion. At least not in this bull cycle. But you never know, and if that happens, that's like a 200x. So that'd be insane. But yeah, going all in on Kaspa, I don't think is the worst decision to be making. I've not done that. 70% of my portfolio is in Kaspa, and it's a very hefty amount of it is in Kaspa. And then I have small little bits spread around other real world assets, and I'm looking to going to gaming tokens and AI at some point as well. But that is currently where it's at. I'm in the UK. Remember, quick, if Kaspa doesn't work out for us, we will have to live in a cardboard box. I mean, yeah. True, a lot of people in this space seem to be very, very heavily involved in Kaspa and they're all in, but I think that it will take a lot for Kaspa to fail at this point. I think just the fact that it's proof of work and it continues to increase, I think the worst we can see is this Kaspa stagnate, but it'll still increase in value over time thanks to its proof of work nature. And it's still sticking true to its trilemma solving mechanism. It's like the fact that it's solved the trilemma. So I think Kaspa will continue to increase. And this, again, KRI, this is going to be much bigger than we could possibly imagine, I'm sure, because no one can truly grasp how big institutional adoption is into a project. We're going to see multiple trillions of dollars flood into the space. The Kaspa is going to be, taking part in the energy sector, one of the most valuable sectors on the planet, and the emissions market of the energy sector, right, by 2030 is projected to be valued at $2 trillion a year. So in 6 years, the emission market should be at $2 trillion a year. And if Kaspa's the leading, project in the energy sector, all underlying assets of that market are extremely valuable. And Kaspa is needed for its scalability, its decentralization, and its security as a proof of work project. The industry don't actually like proof of stake, but they think proof of work doesn't work because Bitcoin didn't work. But Kaspa's proven that proof of work does work. Go back to the other questions. I probably have to catch a reply on that one. A replay on that one. Yes. Don't know what that's referring to. I apologize because I'm replying to these questions a little bit late. The only issue from last cycle is that there wasn't as many projects from the last cycle. There are too many. Yeah, that's truth be told. There's too many crypto projects in the space right now, but that's also why there's a lot of talk about, we'll see a run up in this cycle, but also we're going to see a crypto culling. A lot of these projects that don't have real utility, or they're fake, or they're not as good, right? There might be projects which there might actually be a project out there right now that's doing what Kaspa's doing, but because it's either too soon or it's just not got the adoption that Kaspa has, it most likely will be destroyed in this cycle. Or similar to XRP as well. There are probably projects like XRP, but again, it's not as big, so it'll be destroyed. It'll be destroyed in the cycle or in the bear market afterwards. We're going to see a crypto culling most definitely. There's too many projects in this space, and there will only be a select few that survive. And the ones that survive, the project that will survive, because right now institutions are getting involved once again, the projects that will survive are the ones that are regulatory compliant. And I'm not talking about just stablecoins, I'm talking about in general. If the projects are compliant with regulations, then we will see them survive because institutions will want to adopt them. If they're not compliant with regulations, then institutions are not going to want them, and that therefore means that there may be problems, they might not survive. That's what Christine Lagarde, the European Central Bank president, stated, that projects that aren't compliant with regulations will be cannibalized. Her words, cannibalization. They'll be cannibalized if they're not compliant with regulations. And she also quoted the likes of Ripple being, good because it is compliant, which the lawsuit's also proven that as well. And good news again, going back to this roundtable, the KII confirmed, I'm going to say the exact minute mark, I've got it in my notes, at 47 minutes and 25 seconds, the KII, Rory O'Neill announced, so 47 minutes, 25 seconds once again, 47:25, Rory O'Neill announced they're creating a regulatory roundtable group right now, including experts from Europe, United States, and the MENA region, to discuss how to make sure that they are compliant with regulations from day one. At 50 minutes and 25 seconds in, they're looking for the best way to launch stablecoins on Kaspa that are regulatory compliant from day one. So Kaspa is going to be a part of this new system because the KRI are making sure they are regulatory compliant. Again, this is proof that Kaspa is not going to die. Cardano did shoot up last cycle without smart contracts. True. If Kaspa gets smart contracts, we'll still see a shoot up, I'm sure. We'll still see it go up in price. But smart contracts will give it the lights to compete with Ethereum and surpass Ethereum because it's already going to be better. Smart contracts will let it surpass that. That's the reason why Ethereum's number 2, because it has smart contracts, as it's the first one to create smart contracts, and no other, blockchain or protocol has necessarily surpassed Ethereum. There are a lot of ones that are better than Ethereum. I don't think Ethereum's good by any means, but they haven't blown Ethereum out of the water. So as Bitcoin's the first crypto project, therefore it's the biggest. Ethereum's the first smart contract creator, therefore it's the biggest. Kaspa's the only one that is competing and equal to the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and smart contracts will let Kaspa actually be that much better, because right now Ethereum, only thing Ethereum has over Kaspa is smart contracts, but Kaspa's going to have that in the next 18 to 24 months, I believe. I think that's what I heard from Jonathan Belinsky and Michael Sutton. What about Quant and ICX? ICX, I know Quant, I don't know Icon. Just looking at it very briefly, 125 million market cap, 2 million 24-hour volume. That is decent, I guess. All time, it is down 69.71%. It launched. Okay, I'm not happy with this project because it launched back here, had a pump from the last cycle from the looks of things. Peaked at 10, whatever it was. And then in the next bull cycle, it did that. Now, XRP did the same thing because of a lawsuit. I don't know why this one didn't even pump nearly as high as it did from the initial launch. If it had a lawsuit, then fair enough, maybe. But I've not heard anything about this lawsuit from Icon. And it's, it's down quite considerably. So just that alone, I mean, it's got the exchange listings, I'd imagine, because it's, sitting at the number 2. Well, even then, it's not a micro cap, because it's got over 100 million in a market cap. So anything under 100 million is a micro cap. So it's not a micro cap, it's like a mid cap, but even then, it's very, very small. And it's down quite a lot. And it's, the next bull cycle was bigger than the 2018, and it didn't go higher. So I don't look at that project personally. Not saying I don't know a lot from it, so it's hard for me to make an official judgment on it because I don't know a lot about Icon. I'm just saying, looking from the market chart alone, it does not look very appealing because it is, yeah, it doesn't look very appealing, right? So I don't know what if it's a AI project, then maybe it was just too early in this time. I don't know. And then for Quant, I know Quant's a decent project. That's one. Quant is a real world utility, and I've looked at it. I mean, look, it's up quite considerably from its initial launch back in 2019. Did well. It did decent in the bull cycles. Come back down. It's also got the listings as well. It's number 74. It's $758 million market cap, just 8.5 24-hour volume. 85 million. So I think Quant is a decent project. It's got real world utility. It's doing stuff in the finance sector. I've seen partnerships with Quant as well. So Quant's one that I do like the look of. I do hold a little bit of Quant. Not a lot, because again, Quant, a lot of these projects in this space, Quant including, they have centralized natures. They had pre-allocations, ICOs and whatnot. So I hold a small bag of it because, if Quant returns to its all-time high and it should surpass it again, because it's bull cycle, institutional adoption and whatnot, it peaked at 384. That's a quick math, 7x, and it should surpass that, so it could go higher than that from its current position right now. So I don't think it's a bad project, but Icon, I'm not a fan of personally. When do you think Kaspa could reach $1 mark for the first time? I think it's potential we see it this year, and I say that because, again, KRC 20 is coming out very, very shortly, as confirmed here. 10 BPS is going to follow soon after from the looks of things as well, so both coming this year. And when the hard fork's out of the way and there's no complication of the hard fork, then I think we'll likely see the likes of the Kraken listing and the Binance listing, 2 massive tier 1s, US exchanges that I think will propel Kaspa's price to potentially reach as high as $1. Especially Binance. Again, Binance is the biggest exchange in America is Coinbase, but Binance is the biggest exchange, just flat out. So Binance listing a project is a massive, massive achievement. And if Binance lists a project, that will cause a lot of volatility in the price, and that will likely also cause, all the other exchanges to follow in suit as the price is going to start skyrocketing, and they don't want to miss out on the money they can make. They have to start paying a premium for Kaspa. The reason why, again, if I'm not mistaken, the reason why Kraken pumped from 5 to 15 cents is because there was a Binance Future listing that everyone thought, Binance Futures means spot listing very, very shortly afterwards, which hasn't happened, but now we've got a mining pool. So we've got futures and mining pools for Binance. So we're going to probably see a spot listing now, I believe, for the end of this year. I think it may not happen, but I think it's good potential at this point. And yeah, so it's very, very good to see. So I think we could see it this year. Yep, my man, you're absolutely right. Push the like button if you enjoy the streams, and I'll be doing them daily. Push the like button, share with your friends. Again, to get the name out there, to get the stream growing more, and get even more people knowing about Kaspa and how big this space is going to be, and how much money you could potentially make. And if you're new, feel free to subscribe, because I do these streams every single day. I make videos as well, which I'll probably be making one today as well after this stream. And if you're new and you want to learn more regarding the crypto, just in general, more about Kaspa, more about crypto in general, then feel free to join the free Discord server. I've linked it in the chat. It's also in the description below, and also on my YouTube homepage right here. Feel free to join that as well. Brad Pitt, don't worry about capital price appreciation. I worry about Bitcoin and overall market not performing. Yeah, I agree. I'm not worried remotely about Kaspa either. I don't think Kaspa's got a problem at all. The problem is there's not enough liquidity in the market because Bitcoin's in a bad position, and no one, apart from institutions, are buying more and more, but they're buying dips because there's not enough momentum in the market right now because there's not enough liquidity. The market everyone's worried about a recession right now, so therefore no one's buying into crypto, which is fair enough. There's going to be rate cuts next month as well. In the next 2 weeks, we'll see rate cuts as well. So understandably, the market's not, got enough liquidity in the market, not momentum. It's coming very, very shortly. Again, I spoke about that in my Discord server. There's basically confirmation that all the analytics, all the figures, all the charts are stating we are going to see a run up. Liquidity is now pumping into the market. We're going to see a run up very, very shortly. The Fed's printing money as well. So we will see that turnaround soon. But yeah, ultimately, I think we will see, once that turns around, we'll start seeing the miners, making profit, and that will see Kaspa's adoption continue to grow as more and more. But again, as much as, as you mentioned, yes, if the miners are making profit, they'll stop mining Kaspa. True, but again, that's why it's a good thing we're seeing KRC20 coming out so shortly, because as confirmed again in the roundtable, KRC20 gives the miners other means to make money apart from mining Kaspa. They can mine the KRC20 tokens. So that means even when Kaspa's fully mined and it's all gone, the miner can still mine on the Kaspa blockchain and mine the blocks with KRC20 tokens, and they can receive rewards from that. Once the Bitcoin maxis discover Kaspa, all the Bitcoin money will go into Kaspa. Yeah, I think that's so as well. I think when Bitcoin maxis fully accept Kaspa, we're already seeing, it's starting to happen, right? Lucky, I'll probably won't be able to find it. It's really far back in my. This is my Twitter page again, if anyone wants to give it a follow, but it's really far back on my Twitter page, but there's an account called Lucky, who is a Bitcoin maxi since 2015, an OG. He has 2.2 million followers, and he recently did his research on Kaspa, and he's now bullish on Kaspa. And he's just one of many. A lot of people start getting to Kaspa. You have the people who are followed like Da Vinci Jeremy and Fred Krueger, who just evidently are just blinded by their own beliefs and just dying on the hill. Bitcoin's the best, which Bitcoin's great, but it's not anymore. I'm sorry, but it's not. But Kaspa's definitely going to replace it. And when Bitcoin maxis realize how good Kaspa is, and it has everything that it needs to actually take over the space, they're going to jump ship very quickly. Yeah, as Bird Pip said, they prefer to sink with the ship than to switch ship. There are too many whales invested into it to jump ship. That's the problem as well. Yeah, like we saw a post from Michael Saylor, a while back when Kaspa, where he posted out a picture of a Bitcoin, like a Bitcoin apple, but it was in the same color theme as Kaspa. So there's a lot of theories that Michael Saylor was actually, hinting that Kaspa is actually very, very good. But the problem is people like Michael Saylor and other Bitcoin maxis, they can't just talk about Kaspa and jump ship, because that will then depreciate the value of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will crash, and Intuition will be very, very upset. At least that's my theory on that. But again, what do I know? I'm joking, but I think Kaspa's going to continue growing more over the years, and we'll see Kaspa, really take shape in this bull market and in the years to come. It'll probably be the best performer in the next bear market as well. I think when everything else will crash back down, Kaspa will correct, I'm sure, but maybe not as heavily. Besides Kaspa as a blue chip, what other two large picks hoping for possible 100x from current profit? 100x. Kaspa's obviously my biggest bag by a long shot. The two other projects that I'm closely looking at right now is XRP and HBAR. Those ones that I think are my next two biggest bags. And then you've got XLM after that and whatnot. The real world utility tokens. Now, that may be likely to change when the bull market properly starts, because that's when I'll probably start getting involved into the gaming projects. That some of these gaming projects have like 25x potentials if they return to their all-time highs, what they should do, and surpass that hopefully as well. And equally, you've got AI projects as well, which I'll be looking into. And then again, there are potential 100x you can find if you're, really, really lucky. I say lucky to do a lot of research during the bull cycle when the micro caps stop taking off. Because micro caps are very, very risky, arguably as risky, if not more risky than meme coins, but they can make bigger gains. And I got some of those gains again in my last cycle. I talked about Vulcan Forge, but other projects as well that are micro cap that managed to make a decent amount of profit on very quickly. So I'll be doing that during I'm not going to just, right now it's so, dare I say, easy to make money because you just sit on your investment and just let it ride up. But coming into the next few cycles or whatever, or coming into the full brunt of the bull cycle, it's harder to make money because the project will be near its all-time high. So at that point, you just look at micro caps are going to pump afterwards. Bitcoiners call Bitcoin gold and they want to hedge it against the dollar. They won't want to spend Bitcoin, so they want to secure another token, which will be Kaspa. There you go. Exactly. Like we'll see a shift to Kaspa. There's no doubt about it. We'll see a shift to Kaspa very, very shortly. In this cycle, I'm sure we'll see Kaspa exceed expectations. KRI is massive, damn straight. Ton is another coin without tier 1 listings. They're in the top 10 on market cap ranking. Ton. Do you mean Tron or Ton? I'm guessing you mean Ton. Tron. I mean, I'll type in Ton unless I am mistaken. Oh, Ton coin. Right. Oh, you did mean Ton. Okay, Ton coin. Yeah, my apologies. It's got Binance. So it does have a tier 1. And OKX. I mean, I guess not really tier 1, but it's got Binance. And it's got crypto.com, which counts as a tier 1, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I think Ton, it doesn't have Coinbase, hasn't got Kraken from the looks of it, hasn't got like the biggest American exchanges, but has got tier 1s. It's got Binance and it's got crypto.com. So yeah. I do own other cryptos, however, I still accumulate Kaspa, and if someone asks me what crypto to buy, yeah. Same, yeah, I kind of same. I've had my mates ask me what projects you're looking at too, and I say, oh, I've got these projects here. And I'll list a few of them, but I'll always got to tell them to do their own research just in case, because you're not telling them what to buy. But I say, like for me personally, the bag I'm holding the biggest off without a shadow, that was Kaspa, and I'm going to keep holding that, and keep buying more and more. Oh, there you go. Yeah, Ton has Crow, OKX, Huobi, also has Binance, according to CoinMarketCap at least. I believe the last Kaspa will be mined in 2039. If that's the case, then that means 2039 you could potentially see a problem, as people won't be mining Kaspa anymore. But at the same time, again, that's what makes KRC20 so good. Not to mention as well, by that point, 2039, that's 15 years from now, we will likely have the Dagnite released, and the smart contracts most definitely will be out. I won't say most likely. Dagnite should be out, definitely. Smart contracts definitely out. Kaspa would have done so many amazing things with the KII. It will become an integral part of the energy sector and the cross-border payment sector and, financial assets, everything. And it'll be valued a lot higher, I am sure, in 15 years as its market, the crypto market and Kaspa matures more. And then again, KRC20, you'll have the stablecoins on there. You'll have so much liquidity flowing through the Kaspa blockchain that the miners can make money, and probably a considerable amount, due to all the adoption on the KRC through the Kaspa blockchain, and they can mine KRC20 tokens. Low cap is TLOS. I've been telling you about it in the Discord later. I have to tell you about it in the Discord later. One guy had that cost him to market early. Okay, well, yeah, by all means, tell me about more in the Discord later. Again, linking it in the chat. Like anyone who wants to, like again, in the Discord server right now, we're just trying to build our knowledge on all projects. Kaspa as well, of course, talk about all recent news and whatnot, but all projects in general, trying to build our knowledge on it. So doesn't matter what, as long as you just join the server, free to join, and we're just going to talk about projects, talk about how to make money in crypto, and we talk about market sentiment as well. I'm sure in the next 2 or 3 weeks, when in the next week or two, when the Fed rate cuts are coming in, I'll be probably giving a bit of a deep dive in my server, talking about what I predict is going to happen, depending on how severe the rate cuts are going to be. Because we don't know if it's going to be a 1%, a 2%, or even less. I really have no clue. TLOS. Yep, that's them. Yeah, so microcap 500 million. Wow, that's very high volume. So almost half it in 24-hour volume. Very good. Circulating supply is 375 million. Total supply is 445 million. Looking at it from this chart, it's up 36%. Launched just before the bull cycle. It peaked up at just above $1, $1.30. So yeah, that means if it was to return its all-time high based on that, that's doing too much maths today. It's just short of a 10x. Although again, due to institutional adoption, it could surpass that. So it could be 10x. Exchange listing wise, it's got a load of centralized exchanges like Mexi, KuCoin, Gate. So that's good to see. Again, no tier 1s. So that does look like from this point right now, Telos does have a decent amount of potential, I'd say. So yeah, by all means, tell me more about it in the Discord, because I'd love to know what it's about. If it's a layer 1 protocol, if it's actually I could probably see it in the about here. Yeah, again, I can see. I'm going to do some research on this because it actually does look quite a promising project, and it being such a micro cap could do some decent gains in this market. So let me know about it in the Discord server, and I'll do some research on it as well. But yeah, that's a decent find from Poke Seraphim or Pokey Seraphim. Telos. Luigi Jeremy says hard forks are a problem for Kaspa. Yeah, I've seen that, and he's wrong. He's right and he's wrong. Shai already combated him about this, right? Hard forks are a problem because you are susceptible to hacking during that period of time, and you're also susceptible to, if the code is not being thoroughly checked through and whatnot, it could have problems during the hard fork migration process, right? So that can be problematic. Especially if you do it rash, you do it very quickly, it could have problems. But Kaspa have been perfectly aware of this, and Shai said they've already figured out a way to do it. The reason why Bitcoin has failed is because it has not allowed itself to adapt. The Lightning Network is crap, right? And they've not allowed themselves to evolve at all, which is why it has become unscalable and it's become just there. But Kaspa wants to surpass that, and it needs to have development, it needs to evolve. Hard forks, as much as they're problematic, they allow them to evolve. And Kaspa, one of the biggest ways to make sure that hard forks are done safely is to take your time. Not to just pump it out quickly, get it done in 2 weeks or whatever. Is to make sure you do it very gradually. That's why when they are migrating to more people mining on Rust as opposed to Go, they took their time with it. Now we can see more people mining on Rust. The same thing will happen, and we now know the Rust 10 BPS works. Rust, it took them a while to get Rust onto the mainnet. Rust is not on the mainnet. They'll do the same thing when they see the hard fork 10 BPS. They'll probably take them time doing it, but they'll do it accordingly, give everyone a lot of time and, warning to do. So I tell people what they need to do as well. They'll give everyone forewarning, and that will limit any, well, not every risk, but it will completely minimize any risk that could happen. So it's not wrong, hard forks can be a problem, but they are necessary for evolution. If Kaspa has no hard forks, it will become the next Bitcoin. In the sense of it will become the next Bitcoin, it won't surpass it. It needs hard forks to surpass Bitcoin. Some XLM, Stellar, but only concern is that they are non-profit. Like I said, all these projects like XRP, XLM, they're really, realistically, they're intended for institutions, not for retail. So therefore, and we're seeing that now with institutional adoption heavily targeting the likes of XLM, Stellar, and XRP, Ripple. So therefore, and also both of them are very, very centralized. So we will see. I think we'll see some pumps with the projects as institutions get more and more involved and they become useful. That are meant to be useful to institutional adoption and for cross-border payments and whatnot, but they're not meant to be used for institutions. So that's also why, because they're centralized nature, and because institutions are going to get heavily, heavily involved in it. So they're going to want to make sure everyone's out of their bag so they can just use it for their own needs. I hold a very, very small bag because, again, there's always that risk of a rug pull or them just taking the money. And that's why, again, as much as I hold these other projects, these real world utility tokens like XLM and XRP, it's a very small amount because I'm like, I don't want to take that risk because I'm not going to put a bag size the same size as my Kaspa bag into XRP because that means I'm losing a lot of money. Da Vinci Jeremy is definitely a joke. I don't trust him at all. Like he's one of those people who called Bitcoin really, really early, got into the space really, really early. He rode that title all the way up to where he's at right now, and he's just not adapt. He's just stayed there. Like I'm not trying to spread too much hate because again I'm not trying to beef with Da Vinci Jeremy, definitely not. But I've done my research into Kaspa, a fair amount of it, and I can say that Kaspa is a very, very strong project, and he seemingly has not done enough because he doesn't want to, or whatever the reason, if he's not done enough. Good morning, late as always. Don't worry, my mate, my brother. Again, if you want to listen to you can always re-listen to the live stream once it's put up. Speaking of which, we're already over the hour, so I'll answer some questions for the last 5 minutes. Everyone got any, and then I'll be closing the stream up already. But yes. You can always watch the stream if you want to, and I'm pretty sure you're also my Discord server, so again we could always just chat and learn more in there as well, because it's free and knowledge is power and it pays to be knowledgeable. Issa, Beam is a good shout as well. I think I have heard of Beam. Telos don't like Icon. I have heard of Beam. Beam's not a micro cap, but okay. I know you won't say it's a micro cap, but I'm just saying Beam's not a micro cap. I'm just stating that here. $616 million market cap. $6.5 million 24-hour trading volume, circulating supply compared to total supply. Got some decent exchanges, no Coinbase yet, but it's got seemingly everything else. Don't see crypto.com either. Okay, I don't see crypto.com, but it's not got crypto.com and it's not got Coinbase, but it's got all the other big exchanges. Looking at its all-time chart, it launched last year in November, so near the end of last year. And it's up 500. Okay, so from this, I don't know what Beam's about, so you had to if you're in my server, please, Issa, then inform me a little bit about what Beam's about and what the project's really looking at. But from the looks of it, it looks like a bad project, and it's held above its initial launch. So in this bull market, it does have a decent amount of potential about it. I mean, the fact that it's sitting at 89. I mean, the thing is, it's in at 89 on CoinMarketCap, which is good, but at the same time, it's there with tier ones again. So it's good, but it does not compete. It does not compete to Kaspa because it's 89, whereas Kaspa's 21, and it's got tier ones. So Beam would have definitely paid them to list. So from the chart on itself, doesn't look too bad, but I think definitely Kaspa's a stronger project. I mean, I think that goes without saying that Kaspa's probably the strongest project in the space. But I'm looking for alternatives to hedge your bets, to put just a small bag aside. Beam might be a decent shout. I want my man who mentioned Telos to me. I want to see more about that because that looks very, very strong. The fact that it's just purely for the fact that it's a micro cap token, so it's very, very small, and it's seemingly done decently well. So I think this is a project that should do quite well again. It's been around for quite some time, so that's a project that I most likely will invest into. But these micro cap tokens, they don't pump when Bitcoin pumps like at the same time. They tend to happen like a few days, if not a week afterwards. So you can take your time and get into it later, which is that's the safe way to go into micro cap. You don't want to call the bottom for a micro cap. That's not how you don't to invest into micro caps. You don't call the bottoms. You kind of just micro caps are normally very, very volatile. So you kind of go into it when the run-up's already happening, and then you have to wait and see in it. I mean, I'll talk about my strategy about it more later on at another date. But this is a project that I think is worth looking into a little bit more, just purely from the fact that it's a micro cap with some decent centralized exchanges, and it's been around for a while. So I think it should return to its all-time high at the very least, I'd hope. But again, that's one I'm going to look into it more, and I hope that my man lets me know in the Discord server as well. There you go. Yeah, so Pokeserafine will let me know. Perfect. Well, there you go. That's all well and good. And for that matter, then I guess again, very, very bullish what's to come with Kaspa. KRC20 is going to be released very, very soon. The private beta was last weekend. Looks like the open beta will happen at some point next week, hopefully. And then we'll see KRC20 and the Kaspa main blockchain released late this month, if not early next month. And then 10 BPS will happen very, very shortly afterwards. And you can see, look, even Kaspa, the Ghost of Kaspa, is saying we've got some juicy updates coming very, very soon. So everything seems to be gearing up for a massive, massive explosion with Kaspa, exchange listings, hash rate going higher and higher. We got, again, more adoption happening to crypto. So again, a lot coming in for Kaspa and for crypto in general. 100k Kaspa, a bag of meme coins and a different strategy I'm going to implement once Real Ball starts in November. Yeah, I think you're very set, Goku, 100%. 100%, I think it's a good strategy. I don't get into meme tokens because I think they're risky. Saying that, when the bull cycle happens, my strategy is going to probably change, because once the bull cycle actually happens, there's sometimes it's harder to make money with when the projects are near their all-time high, so you've got to look at the smaller projects. But yeah. Anyways, that's going to be done for the stream today. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Again, it'll be the same time tomorrow as it stands right now. Unless anything changes, I'll let you know in the Discord server and hopefully my community as well. That'll be 4 p.m. EST, 4 p.m. GBT, 12 p.m. EST midday, 9 a.m. PT, and my Australian brother's going to be 11:30 p.m. 1 a.m. midnight for them. Legends. When I sit down again watching the stream. And if you enjoy the streams, feel free to give it a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. You want to add people on Discord server? No. Again, very, very important to note there. I've put it in my Discord name. I won't add people on Discord first. I will accept a friend request. If you send me a friend request, I will accept it, provided you're in my server. And if I've interacted with you before, right? I've added some people on my server because they spoke to me before already, so I interact with them sometimes. But I will never add first, because I've already had, it's always going to happen. You're going to have people just trying to scam people, so you've got to be careful. I'm making sure my mods are getting involved. I'm going to get mobs involved, and I'm making sure to limit as much scams as possible. But yeah, keep in mind that if anyone tries to add you on the Discord server using my name, it's not me. It's definitely not me. But again, yeah, feel free if you want to learn more. Just like Catalyst, market sentiments, and just more about the project, then feel free to join the free Discord server. Links in the chat right now, it's on the screen right now as well. And if you like the stream, feel free to give it a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And yeah, thank you very much, bro. I will keep up the good work, and I will be here same every day. And I hopefully we'll all go together. That's the goal here. We're all trying to go together. Okay, well, yeah, be sure to look out for that, Bingo, because yeah, people are always going to try and do that. And truth be told, at this Discord server continues to grow like it's growing right now, very quickly, it grows more and more, that's only going to get worse. You've got to be very, very careful. I'll make sure to try and, there's only so much I can do, and I'll do what I can to stop it from happening, but there's only so much I can do. I've already kicked out a number of people from the server trying to impersonate me. Even tried adding me, which I thought was a bit stupid. But anyways, that's going to be it for the stream. Thank you very much for watching.